Well, this church family is important to us because it's basically the only church family we've ever known. We both Amy was born in the church, and I started coming when I was 5, and we've experienced so much here. Baptisms. We were both saved, baptized here at the church, First Baptist Petal, and children were born here and baptized here. We were married here. Brother Fordham and Brother Strahan married us. We've just experienced life here at this church, and it's family. We've been through the ups and we've been through the downs. Had a lot of hugs, and had a lot of people love on us when we needed it, and it's just why it's important to us. I see it every day. I feel God's presence every day when I come here to worship God. It's a true sense of worship. It's nothing that's fabricated or put on or forced. It just comes naturally. And there's a fellowship here at First Baptist in Petal that we haven't found anywhere else. It's unique.
It was definitely a God-sized thing, and lots of prayer and planning and lots of meetings, and it wasn't something that just was a split-second decision. It was something that was very, very thought out and planned out and prayed for. It was exciting to look and see what could be.
It was uncomfortable too. It was uncomfortable because we were we'd been at that facility for so long, on Central Avenue, and it was just home. Things we had experiences there. We'd lived life there and seen a lot of things happen, and we were comfortable, and it was certainly a challenge to take on such a big endeavor. We were landlocked at the old facility, and at the time in the late '90s, we were booming. The First Baptist Church in Petal was booming. It was growing exponentially, and I think it grew so fast, so quickly that we couldn't house everything. We couldn't do everything that we needed to. So there was definitely a need to move to a location that had lots of room for growth. It's just it's a sense of surrealness. You have to pinch yourself and ask it, hey, is this really happening? Because we've come from so far, to where we're at now, and it's just every Sunday I come here, I'm amazed at what God does, and I'm never, about the time I think I've seen it all, something else happens, and it's exciting.
Wow. Wow. That if we had not followed God's plan, there's no way that 450 people could have ever fit, in our old location. So just kind of a confirmation of these are the plans that I have for you.
When I think about the future for First Baptist in Petal, I envision all of the plans that we have that have come to fruition, and we're having to make new plans for even expanding on further. I'd like to see the softball fields and the parking expanded, and the upstairs, and classrooms for people who aren't here yet, that need to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. If you're faithful to God, He's going to be faithful to you. And if you are consistent to give to, you're not giving just to First Baptist Church. You're giving to the kingdom of God, and you're seeing souls that are saved from a real hell, from eternal damnation. And it's, if you think about it in terms of lives that are being saved and turned around. That's what's exciting to me.
I grew up with that being modeled, as lots of us have, where really you don't really question it. You know, when you grow up with doing it, you know, from when you get $1 allowance, you give 10 cents. So the tithe has never been a question for us. You know, from when we got married, we were both already tithing, and that was just what we felt was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then as we started the building campaign and different things, and were challenged to give more, we did that, and have always been just blessed by giving our tithes and our offerings. And
the challenge isn't necessarily, I mean, sure, it's challenging to tithe. That takes obedience, it takes sacrifice, it takes a whole lot of faith. But the challenge is whenever you give offerings, whenever you go above and beyond, and you give God something that you, you're just giving out of the goodness of your heart, out of the abundance that God has given you, and you want to give back just a small portion of that. And you know, that's what's a challenge for a lot of people.
It was our initial building campaign that
Growing for God.
We prayed about it, and Brian had just, I don't know if it was our initial or later on, that maybe another challenge that we had. That
it had been the second.
That I think it was that Brian had just gotten a job where he got both a salary and a commission. We felt led to give, and he was just very fresh in his job, so we didn't know what the potential at all was, so we decided we would give a certain percentage of his commission plus a base amount each month. And we were, faithful to do that, and as we gave his commission, it was like it went up every month to amounts that we would have never expected.
Dreamed of. Yeah, it was. I think that right now is the most crucial time, because when you start growing to a certain level, you've got to make accommodations, and there's got to be room for the growth. And if we don't make the sacrifices, and we don't have the facilities or the classrooms, then we're going to see that kind of falter off. I've seen it happen before, in churches and in this church, but. I think that's what's crucial, is that we've got to act with a sense of urgency, because you've got to plan ahead, and you've got to be thinking 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead. But that's why it's so important right now. There's so many people out there that are thirsting and just looking for a home. They're just looking for somewhere to experience God, and I can't think of a better place than right here.
You can have eternal impacts by creating space for others to be able to come and accept Christ.
Well, I think about, somebody had to lead Billy Graham to Christ, and look at how many millions of lives have been impacted by that. So there's no insignificant, sacrifice. There's, it's all important, and for every soul that we save, there's eternal ripple effects, and that's what's awesome to think about. It's a leap of faith, and if I were to challenge my brothers and sisters in First Baptist, I would say go and read Malachi 3:10. It's the only time we're ever given an opportunity to test God. It's the only time He ever invites us to test Him, and it's a leap of faith. When bills are tight and money's tight, and you're wondering how you're going to make it from paycheck to paycheck. But I've seen it so many times. God is so faithful, and He invites you to test Him and to try Him out, and to see if you can outgive Him. And it's impossible. And it's awesome to see.
Yes.
He said it.
He said it all, didn't he?
He said it.